Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Natural Physique podcast, another episode of the season wrap-ups, and we have none other than Jamie Butwell on the podcast tonight, who had an incredible last season. He was up against some very tough competitors. Like it's just as we were chatting off air, like it's getting higher and higher the standards. But Jamie brought a very, very competitive physique to the stage. Um, and yeah, we'll dive into his season and how it went. But Jamie, how are you doing? How are you feeling post show?
Good, mate. Good. Obviously, yeah. So I went on holiday and I felt ill, unfortunately. So I'm only just getting back into the swing of things now.
Yeah,
But I do feel a lot better now post show. Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah, I know we'd been arranging this for a while, and then you got ill,
Yeah, bro.
and you were on
Yeah.
holiday. I was on holiday, and then
Uh,
eventually we got a time
yeah.
in.
And like I said, I felt like I fell ill with some bacteria bug, which literally wiped me out for about 2 weeks. I couldn't train.
Yeah,
Literally, yeah, I was literally glued to the sofa, bro. It was awful. But now, finally getting back into the swing of things this week. So
brilliant, mate. Awesome. I guess for any of the listeners that don't know about you, like, do you want to give just a brief sort of background into yourself, how you got into competing, and then we can have a chat about your
yeah,
most recent season.
yeah, sure. So obviously on Instagram I'm like JB coaching, but and my name's Jamie. Started competing 2021, so I've done 3 competitive seasons on the bounce. Um, but to be honest, I started training when I was like 21, like sort of taking it serious,
Yeah,
and there was no real plan to start like competing or doing anything like that. But I done like a photo shoot when I was like 24, 25. And then my coach was like, just go for it. Yeah, like you got the genetics to like, yeah, like, sort of do well. And yeah, so I thought I'd dive straight into it. Obviously done like a novice season, done well. I think I won both my shows. And then come back season after and I won a couple more shows. And then yeah, sort of this year, it's been my 3rd year of competing.
yeah,
Which like, the bounce it's been long. It's been long.
yeah. You just keep improving. Like, I've got these comparison shots of yourself up on the screen, and you just keep improving each season. So, it's going to be very exciting to see next time around when you step on
Yeah.
stage, improvements once again. And you've got unbelievable shape. I think most guys would agree you have some of the best shape in the natural
Good,
game.
bro. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tiny waist and like
Yeah.
wide shoulders.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah, it was like I was at the PCA show and I saw you there, and I thought it was the best, like one of the best you looked up on
That's
stage. So,
definitely the best I've ever looked, bro. 100%.
yeah,
Yeah, like, especially on a condition sort of standpoint as well, because that's
yeah,
something I've always could have like got better with. But I feel like with the PCA, I was like on. That's the most like
yeah,
condition I've been.
yeah, for
That was
sure.
so that was a massive win for me, even though I didn't get the result that obviously I come for. But yeah, like the fact that I turned up and brought the best I could was yeah, that was the biggest win for me.
Yeah, you look crazy there, mate. Like the condition at the show prior, the UKDFA one, was a step above like last year, and then
Oh,
PCA,
totally.
the
Yeah.
PCA another notch on that as well. So,
Oh,
you
of
know.
course, yeah. Because obviously we done the finals together, didn't we, as well? So
We did,
yeah,
yeah, we did the finals together. That was, yeah. So for any listeners don't know, Jamie and I competed at the UKDFA finals, which was probably my worst showing. It's my
so
best look. You know what? It was my
yeah.
best look, but it was my worst showing of the season, and it was just obviously that federation didn't favor like my sort of physique, and it's the way men's physique goes. And you're very men's physique with your shape,
Yeah,
so.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, that was good. That's where obviously we met for the
Yeah,
first time was at that show,
I think
right?
that was the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, how old are you, by the way?
So I'm 29.
Oh, you're similar age to me then, because
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of young bucks in the game as well, So
mate. It's like you see him on Instagram, you're like, oh, he looks big, he looks good, and then like you find out their age and like 22, 23. I'm like,
yeah,
wow. Like,
crazy.
yeah, like we were just saying, obviously before we went on air, like the standard, mate, it's just getting insane.
Mm,
Like each year there seems to be another crazy like young freak come through, and it's like, wow, it's
yeah.
incredible.
So I'm gonna quickly on Instagram here get up your stage shots. I think this is like pinned to your wall. So this so when was your first showing? Is this the one on the left here?
Yeah, so that would have been, cool, 2024. So that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
So that would have been 2021, I believe. Yeah.
I competed that year as well. We must have
Yeah, that was
missed each other.
I think that was the novice show, like the first, like the
Ah, yeah,
novice
yeah.
show. So I don't know if you would have been a novice that year. Was you a novice that? Or, no.
No, no, I wasn't. Was this 2021 was your first, or was it 2022?
It must. Was it 2021 or 2022? So 2022, 2020. No,
Yeah,
2022. Sorry, mate. It would have been
2022.
2022.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were the year
My bad.
after me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I think I remember these stage shots coming through. Like I remember seeing the WNBF ones. Like, you look absolutely class there. You know.
Yes, yeah. Like, mate, I lost a lot. Like, so I think that was like 8 weeks. I held that condition. It was tough, bro. From show
Yeah,
to show.
yeah,
I think it was 8. Yeah, I think it was 8 or 9 weeks. It's the toughest thing I've ever done. Sort of, yeah, like holding that condition throughout, especially first year. It was, yeah,
tough. Yeah, yeah. I know that feeling. Like, well, I remember doing my first season, and I was like, I was done after one show.
yeah,
But like the third time around, I did that sort of similar stint where it was like a 6 to 8 week gap between the first and the second, and then multiple shows after that.
yeah.
Easier when you do it the third time around. First time you do it, difficult, challenging.
It was very challenging, bro.
Yeah,
Because obviously, just getting to like the first photo was tough for me. Because obviously, it was my first time, and then to hold that and like even try and reach more condition for another, I don't know, it was like 8, 9 weeks after it was, yeah, it was tough, tough.
yeah, yeah. And
Sure.
then this was a Two Bros natural show you did as
That
well.
was a Two Bros natural, yeah. So that was the year after. That was
Yeah,
20.
yeah.
That was 2023. So that would have been last year.
Yeah, brilliant. And then obviously
That
UKDF.
finals, yeah. I wasn't really happy with that look, but you
Yeah.
know.
That was finals. Yeah, that was your
Oh,
finals
sorry, no, 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 sorry, my bad. That would have been, I think that
qualifier.
was Southern. That was a Southern. Yeah, so I actually quite like that look. It was the finals that I've not actually put on that post. I wasn't
Yeah,
really.
yeah. I didn't think you were at your best at the finals still, but you still clinched a third place there. So
Oh, mate,
you
like,
obviously
yeah,
did something right.
yeah. I shouldn't have really done it. Like I said to you, like I was in IB for like 4 weeks prior to it on a stag do. Like he's my best friend, so I kind of had to go.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
wasn't even planning to do the finals. That wasn't really in my intentions. I was just going to do the Southern and then just call it there.
yeah,
Um, but like I said, I come back from Ibiza and my ego got the better of me, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're doing a finals, you're doing a finals. Like I think you'd have a good chance." And I couldn't really pull it back. Like my body wasn't really responding. Yeah, like as well as it was obviously prior to going away.
yeah. And then like as I say, this is by far the best I've seen you look at the PCA show. Your abs are super dug out.
Yeah.
Like you're nice and full across the chest. Your arms are looking like even fuller there. Although I think this is maybe not even the best photo you've got from the PCA show,
No, no, I
but
agree.
still, and yeah,
Yeah,
just unbelievable,
that's,
right?
that's by far the best I've ever looked at PCA. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the first time I've been backstage pumping up, and I'm just like Jesus. I just felt on like I was full. I was like everything was just on it. Like it felt, yeah. I've never felt like that backstage.
yeah, unbelievable, mate. I'll stop sharing this now, but let's have a run through of that the most recent season. So you finished the
The
UKDFB finals in when was that? October 2023.
oh, sorry, what's this? The finals?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So that one, I finished third,
yeah.
and
And
then the
then
Southern, yeah, like regional was first, and then Two Bros I come second.
second, cool.
Yeah.
So 2023, going from your 2023 season, obviously a very short off season. What was the strategy coming out of that show?
It
Um,
was, yeah. So it's mostly to bring up my back, the
bring
posterior
it
chain.
back. Yeah,
Yeah, been a massive weakness for me, like my back.
yeah,
So we mainly focused on that. And I'd probably say delts as well, because obviously men's is I don't feel that you can have too much delt.
yeah,
You get
sure.
judged massively on your delt. So it was mostly the posterior chain though. We focused heavily on back. It was like 2 back days a week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
So,
did you? Because I swear you got a new coach or a coach
yeah. Yeah,
moving
yeah. So
between
I
20.
went with Tim, but
Yeah,
like I was with Jace prior to that, like the year before.
yeah,
But I went with Tim. Just like there was no like it was just like I was with Jace for 3 years, and I just wanted to sort of go down like a new avenue, learn new things, and
sure.
sort of be with a new coach and see what he has to offer. Like
Yeah, yeah,
different.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Different approach,
that's it.
and yeah. And for sure, you certainly like the changes were there. Like even in a short off season, were you pretty on the ball from the offset on that off season, just like hammering it? Like I follow you
Yeah,
on Instagram, so you were
to be honest, bro, like that was probably my most shortest but productive off season that I've ever done because
yeah,
I was
yeah,
very meticulous. I sort of swerved social events, didn't really do a lot of social events. I just treated it as I was sort of on prep, for example. Like everything was nailed to a T.
yeah. I could see that through like your
I was
Instagram.
pretty locked in for that off season, yeah.
I think I've had this similar conversation with David Lansdale when he came on the podcast, and because he does year and year and year.
Oh, I know he's fair
Yeah,
play. He's like a veteran. He just doesn't stop.
he doesn't stop, yeah,
No,
and he very much said the same thing. Like, if you've got a short off season, you're gonna have to be on the ball. If it's a bit longer and you're spending 2 years and stuff, then you've got a bit of scope to, go on holiday, like have a bit more downtime, that sort of thing. But with those short off seasons, you need to make the most of it.
you need to.
Yeah.
You can't justify sort of. Yeah, you need to be like, all in.
Yeah. So what was how much weight did you jump up by in that short off season? Was it a lot, or was it kind of you're kind of keeping close to that sort of stage weight?
Yeah, so like when I come off stage, yeah, like from the finals, I think my stage weight was around 74, 75,
Cool, yeah.
and then I pushed up to about 88, 89. But that's
Okay.
still heavier. So in my first year, like, or my second year, sorry, I pushed up to like 95, 96, mate, and it's not practical at all. Like, I don't really like need to go up that high. It's
Yeah.
just more work to do when you have to pull it off. So this year, like we made like a point that I don't really go over like 90. So me
Yeah.
and Tim was like we stay around 88, like, yeah, like if we
I
can, because we knew like we'd have to take off a lot anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I saw the photos of you when you were peak off season that time, and it reminded me of myself when I got over 100 kilos, I was just
No, I
like,
saw your post like
yeah.
100, mate.
Yeah.
I've never took it to 100. I've sat at like 95, 96, and my body just wouldn't go any higher.
Yeah, the same with me. I got like I think 102 I saw on the scales one morning. I was just like, yeah, this isn't gonna work for much
But
longer.
that's insane because me and you are similar heights as well. So
Yeah, we're quite similar, right? Yeah.
that's pretty. That's heavy, man.
Yeah, it was very heavy. This time, different sort of approach. I think a lot of men's physique guys are kind of doing the same, or guys like me and
Yeah,
you and who've been doing it for a while have kind of taking a similar approach. They're just not as aggressive with the push up and being
it's just
or
unnecessary.
it is unnecessary, I feel anyway, especially for men's physique. And when you've
Yeah,
got
especially being natural as well. Like, let's be honest, you're not each year. Like, it's just gonna be minimal gain. To be honest, like
yeah,
you're not putting on kilos and kilos of muscle like an off season. Well,
yeah, sure.
but it's like, what's the point in pushing to that extreme when you know full well you're only gonna have to take it all off and more. So
Exactly. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there. So yeah, very, very sort of like not quite as heavy, starting probably in a better place for your prep last year as
yeah,
well. Even though you did compete the year before, but like that's enough time to kind of freshen up,
I
I,
think so.
I've done a mini cut recently and it was 6 months post show and I was kind of ready to cut back down
Yeah,
again.
I feel like that. Mentally, you feel like you're just ready to go again.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
as long as you're in a good place, like there's no reason why you can't. I would suggest like this is a bit of a caveat because like Jamie, he's got 2 years under his belt competing. He's fairly experienced. He's very competitive. So if you're a first timer and you still need to put a lot of muscle, I wouldn't go year on year. But if you're someone like Jamie who's right up there, then do it. Go for it by all means, I would say.
for sure. Yeah, first time, I feel like just try and grow as much as you can. Like,
Yeah,
don't
sure.
try and rush to get on the stage
Yeah.
because, yeah, you don't want to, like, your first year, you want it to be like, do you know what I mean? Like a productive one, like a good year for you. So there's no point in rushing to the stage. You're always going to be there. So just,
Exactly. Yeah. You're totally right there. Totally right. So let's run through that prep. Was it a fairly smooth prep as well? 2024 prep.
um, yeah, like it sort of had its ups and downs for me. Like mentally, I was struggling probably the most ever.
Yeah,
Only because coming off the back of that last show, like it just because obviously where I shouldn't have done it, and like yeah, like I wasn't happy with the condition, I wasn't happy with the place, and like for me, like I was kind of going into that prep with, like a bit of anger,
sure.
like I
Yeah.
just really felt like I had something to prove to myself, like to this
Yeah.
prep. So I did find it quite hard mentally, but I mean, it flew by, bro. Like it was my shortest prep. It was a 16-week prep. I've never done one of them. Usually
Yeah.
they're like 20 to 22-week preps, but it was
Yes.
a 16-week prep, so it was my quickest prep I've ever done.
That's awesome. I think it's also it kind of shows in your physique because your physique looked really fresh.
Yeah,
And like as you say, like your conditioning was good, but better start point, shorter duration of a prep.
yeah, and cardio didn't really go. Like I've been on like 90 minutes cardio, like
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of times per week. Like I've done that. I've had food go down to like 1400. So I've gone to the lows, but this prep wasn't really like that. Like
yeah.
cardio, I think cardio didn't really go over like an hour,
That's
like
good.
5 days a week.
Yeah,
Steps were
yeah,
at like 12K.
yeah,
Um, Food still went relatively low, but it always has to with me. But
yeah,
I mean, like in a 16-week period, it was just a lot easier because obviously I'm not doing it for usually like 22 weeks was like standard for me the last 2 years of
yeah, yeah.
sort of. So yeah, it did feel like
Brilliant.
a prep.
Brilliant. So first show, you did the UKFB,
NW
NW,
Classic was it?
yeah,
Yeah.
NW Classic. So that went very well. Like it was, I saw the lineup, and I was like, holy shit, this is a
Yeah.
very competitive lineup. I think everyone was talking about that lineup because you had,
Yeah. Like obviously, I didn't know who was like obviously like you never know who's going to turn up, do you?
yeah,
I was all like in my head. I'm always like in my head. I always think like I've always got a good chance in like winning because I'm always confident in myself. But you turn up and you see the people on the show and that like, you see their names and stuff, and you're sort of like, and you're looking at them on Instagram and stuff like that. And I see that Brad, obviously, yeah, that you had on
yeah.
last, and I saw him, and I was just like, yeah, like
Yeah, he was.
this
You always
is
get one or two freaks showing up like every single year, and he seemed to be one
bro.
in this
He
year.
he's insane. I've never seen a natural competitor like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was mental. It was mental to see.
It's just a maturity and the density that he has. It's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah, really, really good natural athlete.
yeah, very good. But you placed third at
Third
that
in that.
show, right?
Yeah, so that was third.
Yeah, yeah. So how were you feeling on the lead up? How did you feel after with that result?
I felt great leading up to it.
Yeah,
Obviously, yeah, I mean, I did come to wings. Obviously, I really wanted that invite to the Worlds because that was my goal for this year was to get to the Worlds.
sure.
And obviously, I think you needed to win to sort of place for that. Obviously, took third. I was really, really gutted to be honest. Like, I did come away from that like a little bit disheartened.
Yeah,
But in the same breath, that was still probably my best package that I've ever brought to that show. So, I mean, I did walk away, yeah, like with my head sort of held high. But in the same breath, yeah, I was very disheartened because, like I said, I was going to win that show because I really want to get to the Worlds.
yeah,
But it doesn't work out like that. Like the two guys that beat me, they was awesome. They were
yeah.
definitely, probably, arguably the best sort of people I've been against. They were, yeah, for
Yeah, the
sure.
guy that came second as well, he was I believe he was at the WMBF show the year
Yeah, and he got
before.
like fifth or something, didn't he?
He
Someone said
did.
that.
So the difference I saw between him, between that WMBF, so because I watched him, between WMBF and this show was he actually learned to pose, do some men's physique poses.
Yes, yeah, no,
Um,
someone else said this that he was at a WNBF show, but his posing was completely off. Like he was
yeah,
doing more like just looked a bit awkward with it. I don't know. He just didn't
yeah,
look. Yeah,
he did bodybuilding posing. I'm pretty sure, like, and because he learned some of the poses as well, like he had an incredible physique at the WMBF
oh yeah,
as well. Like, probably could have won if he is
yeah,
posing at some point, but obviously with some posing in the UKDFA and better posing, like you could see his physique and
oh he had a great
he
physique,
was
bro.
incredible. Yeah,
Like
conditioned.
I knew, like yeah, like I knew when we was pumping up backstage, like this is gonna be a tough one. Like I'll be happy with a top three here because the standard was that good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's one of those ones, eh? I feel like I had a similar result to you in the WNBF where it's like it's a bit gutting. You get,
Yeah,
I came third as well, and it's a bit gutting because you kind of were gunning for that first place, but you kind of appreciate the fact that, I was
yeah,
beaten by a freak in there who won the overall, and the guy who came second was like a
and
point
this
between
and
us.
this is what I'm trying to say. Like it's not too bad when you lose to these kind of guys. Like you just got to take it on the chin. It's
You
one of
do,
those.
yeah, you do, you do.
When they're that good, it's like fair enough. I done what I could do, and obviously it wasn't good enough on the day, so it's one of them things.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good attitude to kind of go about it with. It's just
Yeah,
like there's not much you can do. It's fair play on the day,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. But
eating
don't
that.
get me wrong. Like straight after, I did chuck my toys out the pram a little bit. I was like, because I wasn't going to do the PCA
Yeah,
like after, because I said to myself like I was only really going to do the PCA like, if I won, because I was going to do the Worlds and I was going to call it off there.
yeah, yeah,
So I was like, oh, like, if I win, I'll probably go do the PCA after. But yeah, like after literally like 2 or 3 days, I sort of had some food and stuff, and then I got straight back to it and got back
yeah.
to it. Yeah,
And then it was the PCA show after that, which was
yeah, that was how many weeks was that? Was it 2 weeks? I think it's 2 or 3 weeks
yeah,
after.
two or
I think
three, right?
yeah, I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks after the yeah, like UK DFBA.
And arguably your best physique to date.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, by a country mile.
Who took your photos, by the way? Because some of the photos you have on like Instagram are incredible. Like the back,
Oh, the
like
back.
the
Oh, these ones. Yeah. So yeah. So this was Tim's photographer. I don't know what his name is on Instagram.
yeah,
But yeah, no, these were professional shots.
these are
Yeah,
crazy.
that's probably my favorite. Yeah, that's pretty cool shot. That's
There's
actually
this one, and there's an iconic one of you. I think this one here, right in the mirror at the
yeah.
that
That
is a
was
sick
the
one.
I think that was UK DFBA one. That one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
uh,
these shots are cool. These shots are really cool.
really cool. And then this is your
That
package at the
stage.
PSA. So
Yeah, I
there's
was like
a lot of classes there, right?
four. Like I think there was like super tall, tall, medium, and short. I've never heard of a super tall. It's crazy.
Super tall. Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, I think it was the biggest, like the sort of biggest natural show of the year. That crazy.
And this was a competitive class. You
Oof.
were, was it medium? You were in the
I was
medium?
in tall.
Tall, yeah.
I think Brad was in medium.
Brad was in medium, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think I was in tall, and then there was a super tall. Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm trying to think who you went up against in that
Mo,
class.
is it Mo Samuels? Like he
Yeah, yeah.
won. The
It
guy who
must have
actually
been
come
close.
third. Sorry.
It must have been close between you and Mo. When I was watching, it looked very close in my
Yeah, me
opinion.
and him was pretty much next to each other throughout the whole sort of lineup.
Yeah.
Uh, the guy who come third was really good as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Not too sure what his name was, but he was very good.
Trying to remember as well, because I remember seeing your class and I was like, oh, this is close. This
Yeah.
could be a close one.
No, I
Um,
think Mo just I think he just had more muscle than me, bro. He
yeah,
just looked a bit bigger than me out there. I mean,
yeah,
condition was probably pretty close. He might have been a little bit leaner, but I mean, he was. I think he was just a bigger man than me out there on the day.
yeah, yeah. And sometimes that's it, right? With PCA, they're probably one thing I've noticed from PCA is they really kind of favor that like heavily muscle physique, but then with the
But like they do because they
condition,
obviously do the non-assisted as well, didn't they? So they're
yeah,
always going
yeah.
to prefer the
big,
bigger
big
one.
bigger look, and then like the conditioning with that. Obviously, Brad, who won the overall, has the complete
Oh,
package with the quite a small waist and low inserting lats, but also the muscle and the condition to go alongside that.
absolutely.
But you're
Yeah.
not far off, mate. Like as I was watching you, as like one decent off season again with a little bit more muscle, yeah, it's going to be lights out for you,
Yeah, I agree. Especially, yeah, if I still work, like, still feel like my back needs work. I feel like I just sort of lack like quite a lot of density back there. I've definitely got the shape because, like you said, I've got a good V taper and small waist and stuff like that, but just not a lot of thickness and density back there. That's something that I've always sort of struggled with. But
yeah.
yeah, it's an area I
What
definitely, yeah, like can bring up.
are you making it, because obviously previous your goal was more back, right? And working on your back. Are there any changes to your training now that you've gone through this season to your sort of pull days or your back days?
It's just yeah, so obviously like a lot more volume over the week.
Yeah,
Basically, yeah, like 2 sessions and just a lot of rowing, like T-bar rows, barbell rows. It's like mainly focused on rowing, high rows.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just yeah, a lot of work.
I feel like with you, right, you got the shape, but it's just getting that maybe like the a bit more density through the back,
I
and by
agree.
doing doing all those big roles, like that's what's gonna
Yeah,
that's what
totally.
eventually is gonna help.
I just get found out, especially like the rear double shot for me is a really weak shot. Like sort of with the back, like sort of hand on the hips, not too bad because I can really show off like my V taper
Yeah,
and like wear small waist and stuff. But yeah, where it comes to like the back double, that's where I sort of get found out a bit. I just
yeah.
haven't got like the thickness back there.
Yeah, you'll bring it up, mate. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, easy, easy. So, how did you feel? I'll ask you the same question. Like, how did you feel going into the lead up to that? Obviously, with the result of the UKDFA show and perhaps knowing some of the competitors that you'd be up against, and then how did you feel after the show as well?
yeah. So I went into that one actually like a bit more fresher minded because I was like, look, I took thirds. I sort of went in there with, like no expectations. I went there. I
Yeah,
said I'm just gonna go and have fun. Obviously, I knew the standard was probably going to be even better than the UK DFBA because the PCA show. I just knew it'd be massive.
yeah,
So I went in with like no real expectations. Genuinely, like I just said I'm gonna go and have fun. Like I knew it was my last show, so I literally just went there and just had fun.
yeah,
And I actually come away from it a lot happier, where I just didn't put too much pressure on myself because pretty much all my shows up to that, I'd say that's probably my first ever show. I've didn't really put pressure on myself. All the other shows, I'm always like, oh, I'm coming to win. I need like, I'll come in to win. I'll come in to win. Like everyone's telling you you're gonna do well. You're gonna win. Like you look and you let it get to you. But this show, like I didn't tell anyone I was doing it either. I told everyone like, I'm not gonna do it.
yeah.
And then, but it was the best thing I'd done because there was just no pressure. There was no pressure. I just turned up and had fun, and
Feel
it
like
made my.
they're the best shows, right? They are
Oh,
because
I loved
yeah,
it, mate. It was great. Like no one knew I
yeah.
was. So it was just like I'm gonna have fun today, and it was good.
I feel like I'm similar. I mean, we're all similar to each other, but like I put pressure on myself, and it was the
Yeah.
one that I did was a PCA show last year, and I didn't put any pressure on myself doing it because I knew
No,
it was,
fun.
yeah, and I won. So it's like it just goes to show, and it was kind of like yourself, a last minute thing. I was like, yeah, I'll just jump into that show.
Yeah.
You just go and you just have fun, and like it shows on stage as well because
Oh, for
you
sure.
look very confident on stage at
Yeah.
show, like for sure.
And to be honest, like sort of moving forward, like whenever I'm like next back on stage, like I feel like I'd probably do that again. I'd just keep things under wrap. I wouldn't really because I always like put it on Instagram and stuff, which is good because obviously like people are watching your journey and stuff. But I feel like I let outside noise can get to me, and then I start
Yeah.
really putting pressure on myself, and that's when like you see other people doing your show and you're comparing yourself to them, and you let
Yeah.
it get to you. Before you know it, you're so focused on these other guys, and you're not even
Yeah.
focused on what you're doing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do you get a lot of external pressure from other people on Instagram and stuff? People saying like,
Yeah,
you
because obviously they're only seeing the photos and stuff like that, and they don't know who else is competing. So they're just
yeah,
like, mate, you're sick. You're gonna smash this. Like, you're easily gonna get the win and stuff like that. And you already start like subconsciously thinking, oh, I'm already won. And then you see someone who looks really good, and you think, oh, he's doing my show. And then before you know it, you're thinking about these other guys, and you're not really focusing on what you're doing.
yeah, that's a good point. I
Yeah,
felt last season I got a little bit better at just kind of switching off and just focusing on myself, which was good. But
yeah.
I feel like it's just something you learn the more you kind of go through it.
Oh,
And
absolutely,
um,
absolutely.
I
Like you were
next
saying
time,
about. Sorry, yeah, go on.
yeah, sorry, no, I was saying next time I compete, exactly the same thing. Just like don't say too much about my season, and just kind of
No,
go and do it.
it's the best way, bro. It's the best way. Like,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No,
like
I know.
first time as well. Like, yeah, like, especially for them, I'd probably say the same. Just try and. I mean, yeah, like, everyone's different, aren't they? But I feel like
Yeah,
most first timers, I think you're going to be nervous anyway. So just try and like maybe sort of yeah, like in my opinion, don't put it out there too much and listen to outside noise because like especially as a first timer, you just want to go out there and have fun. Don't just
yeah,
let it get to you and let other people sort of
yeah. I appreciate all the messages from everyone, like wishing you luck and stuff, because it does mean a lot to you.
yeah
At the same time, like can be quite hard as a
yeah
competitor. Right? Yeah,
yeah because of course because like everyone's going there to win, so and
yeah,
you just put that pressure on yourself.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. So that was the season done. Two shows. What are the plans now? What are the plans for the future in terms of competing?
So obviously, yeah, like obviously just come back from illness, so just trying to get back into the swing of things, like training now, just start enjoying it again.
Yeah,
Because I think post show, like I think the PCA show now has come out like 7 weeks ago, but obviously I did have a holiday, like I didn't train over there, and then I come back, I fell ill straight away. So kind of had like 3 weeks off post show of not really being into like structured training.
Yeah,
So yeah, so now for me moving forward, I just need to try and get back into the gym, start enjoying training, and then to be honest, I'm gonna try and hold like I'm not really like too concerned about going into like a heavy off season as of yet. Maybe
yeah,
look at that at the end of the year, but
sure.
yeah, when I do go back on stage, I feel like I'd need a good 12, like 12, yeah, like 12 to 16 months off season, to be honest, to
Yeah,
make the improvements that I need to make to be competitive.
yeah, yeah. So just no pressure on yourself at the moment. Just kind of get back into training, enjoy getting into an off season, and kind of gain.
Yeah, and just like enjoying life, just enjoying life again a bit. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, like do some social events, just spend some time with family and friends. Like, no real pressure about just trying to get back into an off season because, yeah, because when I do, like, I want to be fully committed. And like I
yeah,
said, like the last season was so like, yeah, like I made so much progress. So I want to do the same for this off season. I just want to be locked in, completely
yeah.
locked in, and all in.
Sounds good. Sounds like a good plan. Sort of similar to myself. Like,
Yeah,
I,
is that what you're doing now as well? Like, just
yeah, I was originally, so my original plan was to actually compete next year, but just with life stuff, I'm getting married next year and stuff. I've decided probably not the best idea in terms of how the prep would be managed as well, because my wedding's right in the middle of the year, so it would
that's the
have to be
most.
it would have to be kind of like a
Yeah.
split prep, and I'm like, I just don't know if I want to do that.
It wouldn't be too bad if your wedding was either at the start or like right at the end, but where it's
Yeah.
bang in the middle, like you said, you got to prep for 20 weeks, really, haven't you?
You
So
do, yeah. It's like it's kind of one of these things where I was thinking about it'd be quite good, but I'm like when I step on stage, it's like there's no pressure, but I want to show my best physique, and
really,
if I do that and kind of half not enjoying like my wedding as a result of doing a bit more prep around it, then
not worth it, bro.
it's
Like
not worth it. Yeah,
the wedding's gonna, like, yeah, it's the biggest day of your life. So
yeah.
stage will always be there for you. So
I know some people will be glad to maybe hear that because I know it was like I would be competing against like Tom and stuff, and we were quite close in some of the shows
yeah,
this year. But
yeah, I
for
think
me,
he's
it's
back on next year, is he, Tom?
he is, yeah. Well, at least he's spoken about it. For me, it's gonna most likely be 2026. Like I want to compete like that year because I know that will be a clear run of what I want to do, but not too
It's
much pressure. Enjoy like
hard to improve as well,
season.
isn't it?
Yeah, so that's it. Like, and I think that's the thing is like a lot of people do put pressure on themselves to
Yeah,
like I need to do it this year, but just do it when you're ready for it as well.
no, you're right. No, you're right. Like we said, the stage will always be there. So
Yeah, yeah,
there's no point you're trying to rush to get back onto the stage.
yeah, exactly, mate, exactly. So yeah, so at the moment, just chilling out, enjoying life. You run your own business as well, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
online
Coaching.
coaching. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I've been doing it for God, it's probably about 3 years now.
yeah.
So yeah,
So just
enjoy.
focusing more on the business side of things as well.
Yeah, for me now, because obviously I don't know if it's the same with you, but when I do my preps, I feel like the coaching kind of takes like a back step. Well, for me, it does
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, it does
Um,
for me
just
too.
not really pushing content as much, not really chasing leads.
Yeah,
Just where you're so wrapped up with and you're just exhausted, mentally
yeah,
exhausted. So I feel like now for me, I just want to try and push the brand as much as I can.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Try and get it to the place I want it to go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of similar to me. Like you always think in your head, oh, competing, it's going to be brilliant from a business, but at the end of the day, it's good to get the photos and then
Oh,
document the
absolutely.
journey after and have that as content. But the reality
Yeah,
of it is, you don't have that much energy when you're competing to
don't.
be pushing your
No,
business.
don't. No, like it serves a purpose because, like I said, you're proving to people when you're sort of getting your name out there and people seeing your face a lot and stuff like that. But on from a business point of view, for me anyway, it definitely takes a back step
Yeah,
because I'm just so wrapped up in the prep, so exhausted. Like the last, yeah, like making content is just, yeah,
it's the last
last,
thing you want to do right
yeah,
in your last 3 weeks of prep.
yeah.
Yeah,
And like I said, it's been 3 years back to back for me, so I feel like a good break's needed, definitely.
yeah, totally. Main pieces of we've covered some pieces of advice for first timers, but are there any other key bits of advice you'd give for first time competitors?
Yeah, just like sort of go in with no expectations, just have fun.
Yeah,
Like don't like yeah, like don't try and aim for any like obviously go to win, but just don't put pressure on yourself. Don't like let outside noise get involved and just go there and have fun and just enjoy it.
absolutely. Yeah, I totally
Like
read. with that.
well, like sort of build as much muscle as you can before going on stage. Because like we're saying, the stage will always be there for you. So just try and improve and sort of like pack on as much muscle as you can before just going on stage. Because I know you're going to be a first timer and like everyone else will be, but some of these first timers now are just they're just as good as seasoned
Yeah.
competitors.
Yeah, you're totally right. I think if you've got that muscle, it's going to give you the confidence to go
Oh,
through a
absolutely.
prep, and it actually makes it worthwhile, because it is a long journey to step on stage. And if you're just kind of going in like, oh, I'll give it a go, without knowing if you're going to be competitive, then you're not really going to push that hard through the
No,
prep.
you're not.
So if you know you've got muscle and you could potentially be competitive, then go for it. But at the same time, enjoy it, have fun. Don't place too many expectations on yourself.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's definitely the main thing is to
Yeah,
just get yourself into a position where you kind of, like you warrant sort of going on stage with the muscle that you've got to
yeah,
be competitive. Because like you said, if you can look at yourself and go, like, I've got the muscle there. I know from like a muscle standpoint, I'm not really gonna sort of get beat. Then you know you're gonna go in with a good shot to place well.
yeah, yeah, totally. Awesome, Jamie. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I know you're a
Yeah,
busy
cheers,
man.
bro. Thanks for having me
Um,
on, man.
but I do finish, you may have, I don't know if you listened to any of the episodes, but I finish with this question. What's your biggest life lesson from bodybuilding today?
Biggest life lesson? That's a good question. It's just, I'd probably say like it's proved to me like I've actually got more dedication than I ever thought I had because it
Yeah,
teaches you so many lessons like throughout bodybuilding. Like it puts you to a place where like you never thought you could go to. Like you're pushing the limits, you're pushing the body, the condition to a place where like realistically the body doesn't want to go to or the mind. So
yeah,
for me, it's just taught me a lot of self-discipline.
yeah, yeah. I
For me
totally
anyway.
agree with that. It's
Yeah,
funny. It's funny when it's funny because I've been seeing this a lot more on like social media, is like people trying to call out sort of fake natties, whereas like most of these guys like ourselves, like yourself, getting into great shape, it's just through pushing past the barrier that a lot of
absolutely.
people are unwilling to accept that you have to push past to get shredded.
Yeah, it's just being
There's nothing
consistent as
magical
well.
about it. Yeah, and being
Yeah,
consistent. Yeah,
that's all it is.
yeah,
But I'd definitely say that, yeah. Like you just find out stuff about yourself that you never even knew, and
yeah.
it's it's a crazy experience, but but it's enjoyable.
It's worth it, eh?
It is,
Yeah,
it is. Like at the time, it might not feel like it, but the feeling after when you step off stage, I don't think there's a feeling that comes close.
yeah. I totally agree with that.
Like that sort of high you get when you come off stage, regardless of the result, is yeah.
Yeah. Awesome, Jamie. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on. Where can the listeners go and follow you and your journey?
Yeah, so it's JB underscore coaching 95.
Brilliant. I'll link you down below in the
Perfect, bro.
description as well. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to today's episode, and catch you in the next one.